Alright, guys. So, have you ever wondered how the battlefield of the future is being shaped currently as I'm speaking? Well, it's happening. And it's unfolding in many ways that could basically redefine modern combat as we know it. Russia, in the past few months, unleashed a game changing technology in Russia's Kursk region, the fiber optic guided drones. That's right, drones immune to electronic jamming, rendering one of the most effective countermeasures for drones in modern warfare completely useless. According to this Newsweek article that caught my attention last week, these drones are being used not just for precision strikes, but also to conduct surveillance with unmatched reliability, even in the most contested areas. This isn't just about one battle. It's about how a new era of warfare that's ongoing could force countries around the world to basically rethink their military strategies, alliances, and even arms control agreements. So, stick around because this is more than just a tech upgrade. It's a geopolitical shakeup in real time. Now, this leads us to the first crucial aspect the groundbreaking advancement in drone technology and electronic warfare. These fiber optic guided drones are not just a technological leap, they are now a strategic answer to ever so increasing effectiveness of electronic countermeasures in modern combat. So, what makes this innovation so revolutionary, and how is it reshaping the battlefield? Well, with Russia's deployment of fiber optic guided drones in the conflict with Ukraine, marks a significant advancement in drone technology and a notable shift in electronic warfare. Unlike traditional drones reliant on radio frequencies, susceptible to jamming, these fiber optic guided systems maintain a direct, secure connection to the operators, rendering electronic countermeasures largely ineffective. Reports indicate that these drones are being utilized in critical areas like Kursk to enhance precision and survivability in contested environments. This development challenges Ukraine's ability to counter such innovations, particularly as their electronic warfare systems have been crucial in neutralizing conventional drone threats. Globally, this innovation signals a paradigm shift in modern warfare, where electronic jamming, a key tactic of nations such as the United States, China, and NATO allies, is losing effectiveness against these emerging technologies. The strategic implications extend beyond the battlefield. Data from the Center of Strategic and International Studies shows the global military drone spending is projected to reach $17 billion by 2027, with high tech systems like fiber optic guided drones leading the charge. Russia's advancements may spur competing nations to accelerate research into similar technologies or alternative countermeasures. For Ukraine, this technological edge reinforces the urgent need for external support to enhance their defensive capabilities against these cutting edge systems. Now, I think with the rapid advancements in FPV drone technology, especially with introduction of fiber optics being mounted on drones, will pretty much completely shift how other countries view the global arms race. It's all about staying ahead of the competition. This kind of leap forward will set the tone for what is next to come. Let's look currently at the war in Ukraine. These technological upgrades have already changed the game on the battlefield. FPV drones are now being used in ways we couldn't even have imagined them being used just a few years ago. And they're doing it with remarkable efficiency and at the fraction of the cost, mind you. And interestingly, these new fiber optic FPV drones are going to be a nightmare for Ukraine to stop. With just using electronic jamming devices, the fiber optic cable itself makes them immune to jamming alone. The only real problem that I can really think of is basically the cable itself. If, of course, it gets snagged on something like a tree branch, then it's game over for that drone. But based on the footages we have seen for those who pay attention on the front lines of this war, it's clear Russia have thought this through and basically working around those potential issues. So now the question comes to this. What will Ukraine and its Western allies come up with to counter these consistently involving battlefield dynamics? They got a lot to work with. They've got their work cut out for them, that's for sure. On a bigger scale, though, this is exactly what I meant earlier about the global arms race. With cheaper, more efficient weapons and systems that are becoming the key to staying ahead of other countries. But there is a dark side to this. We're heading into some troubling territory. The military industrial complex, companies, lobbyists, and yes, politicians are all going to launch onto these developments and push them even further. And if history has shown us, is that it could mean one thing: more endless wars, just for the sake of outcompeting our enemies and profiting from the death and destructions that we all know too well. While Russia has the tech advantage for now, it is also reshaping the dynamics on the battlefield as we're currently seeing. The true impact is also being felt in the broader geopolitical landscape, especially in Eastern Europe. Now, with the strategic deployment of these drones in Kursk, is not only changing the military operations, but also influencing security decisions on a regional scale. The usage of advanced drones have shifted the military dynamics in regions like Kursk, where their deployment has provided Russia with tactical advantages. By neutralizing Ukraine's electronic warfare capabilities, these drones allow for precise strikes and efficient surveillance, creating challenges for Ukrainian forces attempting counteroffensives in that region. In recent reports from the Institute of Study of War, which highlighted that Russian forces have successfully conducted targeted operations with minimal losses due to the resilience of fiber optic systems. As a result, neighboring Eastern European countries, particularly NATO members like Poland and Romania, are recalibrating their defensive postures to address potential spillover effects of Russia's technological edge. This localized imbalance also carries broader geopolitical ramifications. NATO's recent statement underscored the risk posed by advanced drone technologies, proliferating beyond regional conflicts, potentially affecting European security frameworks. According to the military analysts, Kursk serves as a testing ground for these drones, and their success could determine their deployment in other conflict zones. If unchecked, this could embolden Russia and similar actors to adopt increasingly sophisticated tactics, further destabilizing the region and undermining collective defensive efforts. In my view, NATO will, of course, try to find ways to adapt and dictate to the Ukrainians how to do the same. They're basically using Ukrainian soldiers as guinea pigs to test the tactics they don't have the solid data on yet, in places like Kursk or the anticipated Battle of Pokrovsk. And let's be real, this kind of imbalance with countries deploying advanced systems will inevitably leave others scrambling to catch up both technologically and strategically. Neighboring countries near Russia, especially those bordering it, are going to have to adapt quickly if they want to keep up with Russia's current military advantage at the moment. However, this shift isn't just about regional military dynamics. There's a much larger issue here. As most nations will be rushing to keep with these advancements, we're going to be witnessing a rapid acceleration of global drone arms race that will have a profound effect on the balance of power to come worldwide, to be more plain and simple. As Russia uses fiber optic guided drones, which underscores the growing intensity of the global drone arm race, these systems represent a leap in unmanned aerial technology, pushing other nations to develop or acquire comparable compatibilities. Reports suggest that the military spending on unmanned systems has already seen a 50% annual growth, with countries like China, Turkey, and Israel leading the charge in drone innovation. Russia's advancement could further drive this trend as nations scramble to master technological sophistication demonstrated on the battlefield. This arms race raises critical concerns for international stability. The Stockholm of International Peace Research Institute estimates that the global stockpile of military drones has increased by 68% over the past 5 years, with fiber optic technology likely to dominate future procurement. This rapid development risks exacerbating tensions between major powers and undermining arms control agreements, such as the Missile Technology Control Regime (MTCR), which struggles to keep pace with the proliferation of unmanned systems. If these technologies are not regulated effectively, they could become accessible to non-state actors, increasing the likelihood of asymmetric warfare and global instability. Now, to me, the biggest danger of the global drone arms race is how it mirrors the innovation of the machine gun before World War I. Back then, the world wasn't ready for the way it completely changed warfare. And now drones are doing the exact same thing. The current modern military strategies are being reshaped so quickly that I don't think we're prepared for what's coming next, in my own opinion. And speaking of history, it's very ironic that while the drones represent the future, we're still seeing echoes of the past, like the continuation of trench warfare being used in Ukraine. Because it's almost like we're stuck in a loop replaying some of the ugliest parts of military history, but now with high tech weapons layered on top, with worse results on the battlefield. Another major concern to us all is how easily non state actors could get their hands on drones. Terrorism, assassinations, guerrilla warfare, you name it. With drones like those, terrorist groups could strike their targets whenever and wherever they want. That makes the idea of creating an international agreement to regulate drone technology, which feels like a pipe dream to most people, including myself. I know some people will point out to how the nuclear weapons are done through agreements and regulating them, but that was one thing. Drones are a whole nother set that we have to deal with. Because let's face it, drones are way too easy to acquire. You can buy them in stores, build one at home, or order them online from Amazon. So good luck trying to enforce regulations on something so accessible like the FPV drone. However, that being said, I think we should really try to put at least some regulations in place. It's better than nothing, right? Oh, one more thing before I move on. I want to point out that drones are only going to become more common on the battlefield, especially in Ukraine. I personally wouldn't be surprised to see FPV drones equipped with handguns or assault rifles combined with AI guided targeting systems. Imagine trying to dodge one of those in combat. It's a terrifying thought, no doubt, and it shows just how much warfare is evolving, and not necessarily for the better as some people think it is. So, as this technological race progresses that we're currently seeing, not only with the shift in global military capabilities, but it will also have the potential for massive shifts in how geopolitical alliances will operate in the future to come. And with the rise of these new technologies, it could reshape the global power balance in the ways that a few of us couldn't have predicted a few years ago. The emergence of advanced drone technology, particularly fiber optic guided drones, has the potential to significantly alter global power dynamics and the formation of alliances. As countries like Russia lead the charge in deploying these cutting edge systems, the strategic importance of technological superiority in modern warfare is becoming more evident. This innovation could drive non Western countries, particularly those in the global south, to deepen ties with Russia or other nations that possess advanced military technologies, thus shifting geopolitical alliances. Additionally, nations like Iran, North Korea, and China, which have long pursued asymmetric warfare capabilities, may see this technology as an opportunity to bolster their own military programs. Moreover, the use of fiber optic guided drones could influence diplomatic relations between Russia and Western powers. As NATO countries and the European observe Russia's technological advancements, they may be forced to reconsider their defensive postures and expand military cooperation. According to the European Defense Agency, defense spending across NATO member states has seen an uptick of around 7% in the last year, with significant portions dedicated to countering emerging technologies such as these drones. This could lead to a new era of arms development and countermeasures reshaping global security architectures. Countries not aligned with major powers may also seek to develop similar technologies or form new defense pacts, further fragmenting the geopolitical landscape. So here's the thing. I believe this technological shift is going to completely shake up the global alliances as we know them. The race for technological dominance in warfare is heating up, especially between Russia, China, and the West. It's not just competition anymore, it's an all out scramble for supremacy, as we can see. And let's not forget about the global south here. Those countries are very likely to forge stronger ties with Russia and other rising powers that have cutting edge military tech, like fiber optic FPV drones, for instance. This shift will for sure throw some serious curveballs at the West diplomatically, making global conflict management even more complicated than it already is. Honestly, it's becoming pretty obvious that traditional power structures are crumbling under the pressure of these fast moving advancements. These changes aren't just surface level. They're redefining global geopolitics in ways that will shape the future for decades. Now, here's the part where it gets interesting. NATO is struggling here. They're clearly not keeping up with the use of drones on the battlefield. To make it even worse, smaller nations that have been held down by NATO's dominance are gaining the means to push back by utilizing these drones. And as I mentioned before, those same countries are tired of NATO's bullying and are aligning with Russia and, dare I say, with China. since both have not only developed but also field tested these drones, giving them a significant edge over NATO's outdated warfare doctrines. If, for whatever reason, push comes to shove, they'll be in a much better position to challenge NATO or any other Western alliance country head on, in my personal opinion. Again, that is if those countries are willing to take up the teachings of what Russia has learned in Ukraine and what China is also learning from Russia from Ukraine. That's all I can say. So, my final thoughts here, as we are currently watching Russia roll out its fiber optic guided drones, it's very clear that these cutting edge weapons are only going to keep shaking up the geopolitical and military fields. They're already putting Ukraine's strategies to the test, throwing regional military balances off kilter, and fast tracking a global race towards high tech unmanned warfare. Now, the big question here is, will nations come together to regulate these advancements? Or are we heading toward an even more fractured, cutthroat world that uses war like the one in Ukraine as a pointless showcase of technology? Only time will tell on how these systems shape the broader geopolitical chessboards we're currently living through. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.